What do I call it? What do I call it? We were talking about
Call it on live.
we were talking about what do we call the different things? We were talking about stuff we call things where we're from, and so we were having a heated discussion, and now you've joined us, and we're glad you're here. We were talking about what's the thing
Red
when you're
butt.
turning left or right?
Oh.
What do you call that? Right? We were debating. It's a blinker. It's a turn signal. It's a flasher. No, we're talking about the end piece of bread.
But
I don't know. Apparently, people have different thoughts. Apparently, people call it the butt, bread and butter. I don't know. Hey, we're off to a great start. This is the show. Music happens usually when we do this thing. So yeah, welcome to the show. We're gonna be talking about Bad Batch today. It's an interesting intro. We're trying new things here. Always innovate, never settle.
Very intentional.
Always striving for perfection here. Yeah, hey, no, I did that on purpose. This is a creative choice, okay? Just like my terrible Gen Z haircut here we got going on. We're trying new things. We're innovating over here at the On Program podcast. Bad Batch, season 3, the final season, episode 4. It was a lot of fun. I like this one a lot. We'll do the same thing we always do. We give our spoiler-free thoughts, and then we dive into the weeds. And to the extent that there's anything to discuss, we'll dive into it. So everyone can see the panel we got here. All the mainstays are here. We got Andy, Taylor, Michael. Whoop whoop. All right. I'm gonna go right to left this time. Michael, we missed you last week. It was a brief show. We had to break out the trivia because there's no arguments to get into, and I'm glad you're back because it was just way too mellow last time. So we miss you, and we want to get into it. So let's have a good time and tell me what you thought about this one. Again, spoiler.
So you want my brief thoughts? That's what you want?
Yeah. And weigh in on the whole turn signal debate too, if you would, please.
They're the blinkers. And if it's anything else, you're wrong. Don't forget to change your blinker fluid, people. No, I did not. I don't have strong opinions about these. Shockingly, about all the first 3 episodes and this one, I think I already sort of conveyed my thoughts. But just overall, I found myself neither being super excited and blown away nor anything tremendous to complain about. I think it's felt very safe so far. Everything's almost predictable. Everything has sort of happened exactly as I foresaw. That's about it. Brief thoughts.
Okay. Wow, that was yeah, I definitely nothing too
trying
too
something new this time.
There. Yeah.
Brevity.
Look at us, we're all doing different things, man. It's interesting. Taylor, what did you think of this one? Oh, Andy, you go ahead.
No, I want to hear Andy.
I was actually, in the spirit of new things, I was going to say I was ready to start first. I mean, I feel like the world's upside down and backwards today. Like, I don't have anything.
All right, go ahead, Andy. Let her rip.
I thought this episode was a really fun watch. Like, we're probably going to get into the nitty-gritty of what was predictable, what was realistic and not realistic. I know. But it was just fun to watch, I feel like. And the ending was incredible. Those were my takeaway thoughts, and I loved it.
100%. Yeah, little to add, just a big old endorse on those opinions. Yeah. Taylor, what you got?
Pretty much the same as everyone else. It was fun. Just sort of mid for me, but I liked it.
The more I think about it, why do we even do the spoiler-free section? It's so lame. We're all just
I don't like it.
Yeah, check it out. It's great. Or it's not,
I'm like,
nothing,
what can
we
I
can't
say?
Yeah, we can't spoil anything. We can't dive into it. We can't talk about anything. I mean, and honestly, who is here that hasn't seen it or, what? All right, so spoiler warning. Okay. Yeah, it was awesome. I liked it a lot. It wasn't awesome in the sense of oh my God, season finale type thing, but it handled what used to be I guess not a filler episode, but kind of let the foot off the gas a little bit. But it still conveyed a lot of interesting themes that it's been doing about how, Omega refuses to abandon anyone, right? The whole "we are all the Republic" vibes that I was harping on last time. It was really cool to see that come back through again, because I think Batcher is an analog for Crosshair, and it's just neat to see let Crosshair and the clones, I guess by extension, but Crosshair particularly, see that she's not giving up on this animal that is kind of defective or different or whatever, and so that it kind of gives him the license to not feel like he's taking advantage of her, I guess, like he's kind of putting in his own head that he feels like he can't accept her help, right? He's trying to push her away, and eventually he ends up acquiescing to the fact that, hey, I'm gonna let this kid be there for me, and it's really cool to see. And of course, he's there for her in the end of the episode when he finally gets to do things his way, and it was fun to watch. I'll have more spoilery things to say, but let's go back through the list. And this time I'm going to start with you, Andy, because you just ponied up and said you were ready. Spoiler time. Dive in.
Okay, we talked a little bit about this pre-show, but about how Omega wouldn't even leave Batcher behind in the end. And I at first was like, come on, like, y'all are gonna die or get captured, y'all are gonna get killed, brutally murdered, all that. And I sitting here now, I really like that they went back and got Batcher, because we already have like a whole endless supply of adult television that's super realistic. And if this was an adult show that wasn't Disney or something, Omega wouldn't have saved Crosshair. Omega would have barely made it off of Tantus or something like that. But we get to watch this where like she saved the little beastie thing too, and I just, that just makes me smile.
She saved
Thank you
all the
for
little
pointing
beastie
that out,
things.
Michael.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, Andy. I think you are you're underselling the realisticness of this show, right? Like, it is
I didn't think it
idealistic.
was
I get
unrealistic.
that. It is for kids. I get that. But I really like it. I mean, I thought this episode was very Andor, like with the bribery, the sort of corruption of the Empire being there. We know Omega's like special somehow, right? So it probably explains her just amazing ability to hustle people. But I know she was trained by Sid and stuff, but yeah. So the thing about Batcher, Michael put it in the chat, and I was going to say the same thing, is like she's immensely tied to this creature, right? That was her only connection in that place for however many months she was there. So we didn't get to see all that, and we're just kind of like dog thing. But and honestly, if dog thing isn't enough for you, I don't know what to say. Like, I love Batcher. I would die for Batcher, but
So would she.
yeah, honestly, yeah. And it's
We're-
like,
We're such
don't think-
suckers, aren't we? Though, like every single Star Wars series, and think they're like, here's a cute animal, you're gonna love it, and we do every single time. They're just like, and sometimes it's not even cute. It's just like this weird rat creature thing from Ahsoka, and they're like, you're gonna love it.
I don't know. The porks
let
are
us-
debatable.
And let us never lose our humanity, and let us love it every time, and let us be happy every time and eat it up. I will.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there. It's like, wait, how do you feel about small children? What about stuffed animals, teddy bears? Where do you draw the line? What's an appropriate use of our affection? I'm sorry, man. That was uncalled for. I just like Batcher, okay? As the guy who loves all these creatures, man, I get sensitive, okay? Let's talk about the other one. I think Taylor said something under her breath there that I don't want to let slide. You came for the porgs, I think?
No. I did not say I came for the porgs. I said the porg. It's debatable about the porgs, because I feel like that's what the sequel trilogy tried to throw in, is, oh, look at the cute little things, and I was not having it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The porgs were a little sickening at times.
They're annoying and serve no purpose.
Okay. So am I.
Yeah, but what about them fathiers, though? What about
fathiers
them?
Were
what about
kind
them
of,
crystal wolf dog things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, you're right. There's always another creature. I hear you.
Like
I
a bat.
I don't know. Like a benta. This show sucks. This show sucks. I love it. I'm telling you, man, this is great. Like a benta. That's a great segue. I loved all the times every time she opens her mouth and we hear her accent and her voice. I love it so much.
We need an R&R soundbite.
We really do. I need like all these buttons on the Roadcasters. You'd be like,
Lauren's pretty
"Hanta,
good at it.
Rika."
She just record
Tick.
all of them for you.
Golly, it's amazing.
Are we still?
I
Are
was
we still
very.
having votes
Go
on?
ahead, Michael.
Oh, sorry. Are we still voting on whether or not Teak is dead? Because
Oh,
I think it was New Rockstars pointed out they clearly they went back and they recovered his glasses. So
And that's wrong.
yeah, because
Andy's passionate about this.
But what if they just came back and he's just like hurt and living on the island now, and he just has his glasses there to remind him of like the sacrifice or the importance. Like literally, Tick could already just be back on the island and chilling. You know,
I'm trying to remember. I don't want to. What was it? You, Taylor, or Andy? Whoever said that in the season finale? I think it was Andy. Yeah, like
the
probably Andy.
glasses were given to Hunter and the rest of the batch as a sign from Hemlock. Look, Tech is dead, and it's just glasses. I'm like, what? That doesn't tell me he's dead.
it's
He's
like
fine.
he's strapped up like Echo, right? They're just like making him a cyborg.
A fan
gonna call us the
artist.
Lobot.
dude, I'd fall for that twice. That was rough. that was a good plot line.
It was.
Yeah, it was cool.
Appreciated that. That's pretty cool.
It was
A
dark.
fan
It was
artist
dark.
that I follow took screenshots and drew up like a rendering of Tech and counted that he has, I think, over 20 pouches. Like, he's okay. He's fine. He has so many
One of them's
pockets.
got to be a parachute, right?
A grappling
parachute
hook
pants.
and some rope, and like he's fine.
I mean, hey,
He's
Luke
literally
had one in his.
Inspector Gadget. All right, he's literally Inspector Gadget.
And he's just like
Technically,
Velma.
Echo.
He's like Velma at the bottom. My glasses. My glasses.
I was also very excited to see that I can finally cosplay as an Imperial officer. I finally get to make that dream a reality. That was great.
It's a cool trench coat, right?
Yeah, it's thick boy season, man. That was great. We love the chinless wonder.
We do love this body diversity we got going on.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. Like, I thought of Andor again, right? They're just all so fat and satisfied, and I was like, yeah, fair enough. Oh, Andy, you got to say it. Just say it out. Like, don't make me just laugh. Like,
I'm not singing on the podcast.
She put that SNL song, the Kiki Palmer, "Need a Big Boy." It's wild. This show is great.
Yeah.
Oh, we're having fun. Okay, so yeah, that was fun. I don't know the guy's name. I didn't commit it to memory, but I liked
Was
the
anybody shocked
Imperial.
that he stole everything they had? That was like, this is
I
exactly
mean,
what was going to happen. This was
kinda- I was intrigued that he knew Hemlock, though. I was thinking it was going to be a situation where, just because of the bureaucracy and the layers and all that, like, I didn't think Hemlock would have thrown his name around in presence like that.
I didn't take it that way. I just took it as they found the ship and they were like, "Oh, who does this belong to? Oh, this Hemlock guy. Let's call him up, see what's going on." And they did that pretty quick.
I would have expected it to be, like Scorch or somebody else would have been the face of it, right? Instead of like the head scientist guy. It just seemed a little out in the open for somebody who's supposed to be so clandestine. But
is Scorch confirmed, by the way? Is that is there any other than just like obvious face paint and character design? But we've also seen like multiple fixers, so like that paint scheme doesn't seem to be nearly as unique. But do we know for a fact it's Scorch, or we just know this is like a demo guy who's for some reason his #1 commando? I don't know.
Fairly certain it's Scorch, especially since
I think
we
it was
saw
confirmed.
Delta Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, and he definitely did have more plot armor than the rest of the commandos back in previous seasons. So
Yeah, it's confirmed per Wikipedia.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Taylor. Fact checking live.
Sick.
Nothing can get past us. We're dope. Okay, so then it moves on. The whole gambling thing happens. They figure out that in order to escape, they're gonna have to bribe the customs official. Did anyone else wonder if it was Ventress for a second? I saw all the bandages and the voice. I was like, is this what she's up to? Was she hiding in there? And then I was like, okay, yeah, probably not. But and I guess by everyone else's
Come on.
reaction,
Nah.
The voice
What?
did
Well,
sound
what
very
was-
familiar, though. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if this is a recycled voice actress behind that, though.
yeah, it was like distorted and it was, vaguely, feline. And so I just kind of thought
She's
maybe
not
it
a
was.
freaking ticket teller, dude.
She doesn't have the patience to deal with the general public.
Could you imagine us the last place
Hey,
she
you
looked?
haven't read Dark Disciple. She's been through a lot, okay, Taylor?
Yeah.
She has really grown as a person.
Just
Grown
need a 9 to 5.
rather dead.
Really died as a person.
Yeah. Glad we
Spoiler.
spoiled this episode and not anything else. So one of the things we wanted to talk about was the credit situation. That was a little interesting. I think we all said off air how odd it was that they were like, she won, what was it, 35,000 credits after the bribe? So it would have been 45,000 if I'm not mistaken. If that's how math works. That's a lot of money. The idea was always it was like, 1 credit to $1. That was the rough approximation, I think, in most people's heads. And that's a lot of coin. I don't know what the exchange rate is to credits to dollars, but
We know
sheesh.
17,000. You can almost buy a ship for that much. That's as far as we've got.
That's true.
On Tatooine, no less.
Probably
Crazy.
just a T-16, bullseye and womp
Yeah.
rats. Nothing special.
Yeah, well, does the job.
And they were talking about getting off planet in that ship.
Yeah.
So it was more than a
They
T-16.
sold a speeder
Sorry.
They sold a speeder for however much was the down payment.
Ever since
that
that
they
new
gave
one
us.
came out, these just aren't in demand. I should know what the new one is, but I forgot it. Sorry.
Womp
Yeah,
womp.
I can't remember. Yeah, they sold
God,
two.
if I
So
was still
they sold a
editing
speeder for.
TikToks, that would have been funny.
They sold a whole speeder for 2,000 credits. And again, the assumption would be that the credits become less valuable the longer the Empire is in control, not more valuable. It'd be my guess. So,
Yeah.
30,000 credits is exorbitant, but not that the clones know either.
No, it was really weird. It was just
They're
kind of,
getting paid.
again, it's the type of thing that is always plot driven. It's not like it's ever written down, but it would be nice if it was kind of approximating $1 or because it does seem very random, like Lightspeed. I mean, it's all over the place. But
Yeah,
not mad
I
about
think the hard part is like we discussed, that number, like the cost or the value of credits, even though they're not consistent, it was established in like the first 45 minutes of all of Star Wars to exist. Like that's one of the very first things we learned, and so it's kind of
Yeah.
odd that they just like 15,000 credits a person, and maybe that was their idea, was that they were trying to reference the 17,000 credits or 15,000 credits they were going to pay that Han Solo was asking to get Obi-Wan and all them off. But the problem is 15,000 total, not each. Maybe that was their goal, because it was he originally asked for
maybe
15
it's like they're
and then he offered
extorting or
17.
something.
I don't know. Maybe that's just the going rate for surreptitious exit from a planet under Imperial control. I don't know.
Right,
15,000 credits, flat rate.
Yeah,
So
I don't
I
know.
have a
It was
question.
interesting. Go ahead, Taylor.
So I thought it was interesting how good Omega is at gambling. Did anyone wonder if this was because of our previous conversation where we were discussing whether or not she had midichlorians, her M count? Because I was like, how's this girl winning this much money?
I thought about it, and I remembered her playing games with,
Yeah.
with
Sid,
Sid and
the lady at the
with
place.
Sid, who I've always referred to her as. We're close, me and her, and Wrecker. But I was like, she's doing really good for that to be her only experience.
Exactly.
And I thought about that
Also,
too, Taylor.
Was she playing Pizak? Not.
No, it was
not
something different.
Spock?
They
'Cause
made it up.
It looked a lot like looked a lot like the Pizak game from, or whatever it is, Pazak, whatever it is from
No,
Coach
you
Boy.
had it, Pizak. Yeah, I got excited too, but I think it's a new game. They
Then
said
they
that
pulled out whatever those random cards were at the end. I'm like, what is this? That's not. What are these cheat codes? Like,
the stakes are always so silly. It's always like, oh no, you have the Glorpy Blorp 1000. Oh my god, that's the one card that could win. It's like, okay. I don't know. Again, it's like it carries more stakes if you know the game, but fair enough. It's the Bad Batch. I'm not gonna
did we?
expect them to set it
So
all up.
I missed the conversation though. What is the what's the take? Do we feel that she has midichlorians or no? Do we feel like she
Maybe.
has used the Force? And are those the same thing? Where are we at?
See this if you listened to the episode, you would know
Dude.
where we were at.
Didn't come here to be attacked, but that's fine.
Shots fired. Yeah, I think we discussed like our hopes to the extent that I can remember. Our hopes are, or at least my hope was that.
Please,
it
gosh,
was-
no, not another MC with Force
Yeah,
power.
like a little bit. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
was kind of hoping it was something more akin to a genetic ability, like maybe she just like a really high IQ or like learns really fast or picks up skills or something like that.
But they all
I don't know
have
how
to.
that would be.
Yeah.
Like she has an accelerated growth rate. Of course
Mhm.
she learns super fast. She's maturing at like 2 to 3 times the rate of a normal
Yeah.
No,
human.
but like learning really quickly, right? So like she can just
But
see
you're-
something and mimic it perfectly.
Well, those are
Like,
traits
that's the
across
idea.
all the clones, right? Because we see in Attack of the Clones, we see clones growing in the vats. We see the little clones on training, and like stuff's just flowing by on the screen. And I always took it to be like they're picking up things immediately.
I mean, just the
I-
number of brain cells they have to be growing per second to be actually like, if we actually try to apply any form of science to this, yeah, they should be able to pick up information insanely fast. That should just be standard for clones.
The
But
understanding,
yeah.
my theory is that
She's
the
special,
thoughts I had is-
okay?
yeah, like it's whatever it is, 2x, right, or 3x, whatever the standard clone rate is, or whatever. She's special in some way, shape, or form. I mean, she's the fifth member of 99, so she's got to have.
To be
something
fair,
going on,
though,
right?
I think Andy covered it pretty well too. I don't think this is she's a Mary Sue. She can just learn things super fast and instantly, and that's her ability, is her superpower. She just does everything. We actually did see her learning how to do this kind of a thing, and even if it's not this exact same game, I don't think we have to apply, she has a high M count, because they didn't actually say that, or she can use the Force. They didn't actually say that they didn't say she has an high M count. All they said was that her blood could support a transfer of a high M count. They didn't actually say
Right.
she had a high M count, right? Or did I miss that?
Mhm. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
And
'cause,
it was
it
interesting.
could mean that, but
I mean, 100%. And we all are scared of that happening because it probably will happen. But it was interesting too. They had. Go ahead. Whoever wants to.
Andy, go.
I was gonna go off topic a little bit. Go ahead, Ed.
Go off
Yeah,
topic,
go ahead, Ed.
please.
I was just gonna say, am I reading too many fantasy novels, or is it possible that like Omega could be using the Force without knowing it to manipulate others' emotions, to soothe people's emotions, that would allow her to do better at something like gambling? Or
I think there are a
or
lot of
is that-
examples of that.
Did you use a
throughout,
Jedi
like,
mind
Star
trick
Wars
and maybe
universe.
not know that that's what you're doing?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like
Yeah.
in the Claudia Gray Young Leia book, right, where she like saves Holdo, or no, her boyfriend or whoever. She saves someone from falling off the cliff with the Force, and she doesn't even realize that she doesn't,
Yeah.
know that she can use the Force, right? But it's sort of like a Harry Potter thing where it just happens, right? Like when you're
Mhm.
scared or something, it just
Yeah.
kind of manifests. Yeah,
I'm
that
not,
could totally
and
be
I'm not.
happening.
I'm not saying that I want that to happen. I don't necessarily want another Sabine where they're using the Force suddenly, but it did cross my mind too. Like I think it crossed Taylor's as well, if I understood you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just because I agree. I know we saw her playing with some of the other clones, and I was thinking, well, okay, that could be part of it, but also she's played against only a few people, and then in this she's playing against people that seem to be in a position where they're playing against probably off-worlders and like a lot of different types of players. So just the different levels of experience, like you were saying, Andy, I think the separation there is pretty substantial. So I was trying to think of things that might explain it. I don't want her to
Well,
have
so I don't
midichlorians,
know
but
that you even need to, like, again, if they roll out that she is force sensitive, I am not surprised at all. This is my surprise face, right? Okay. But at the same time, you could explain it without that, because there were a few episodes with time jumps in season 2 that started with them playing card games in the bar,
Yeah.
you know, with Sid, and like
True.
with just customers and all that different stuff. So like it's
True.
certainly, there's a lot of precedent for it that she's been playing, and you know, it was always Dejarik, of course, but like, you know, it could just as easily have been anything else any other day. Who
And
knows?
maybe she's just lucky. Maybe she's just the main character, and wonderful things fall into her lap because she manifests it.
Plot
Just
Never know
saying,
till you
it's,
try.
she had it on her vision board that she was going to get 45,000 credits and then give them all away. Yeah, it's.
We love her.
I mean, we do. Yeah, we do. We do love her. Yeah, it was so funny. You talk about predictability. I mean, as soon as we all saw the button to lock all the cages, I was like, all right, yeah, we know what's okay. Yep. But no, it was cool. The only other thing I would note was when she finally gives Crosshair the go ahead to, you know, do it his way, and he fires that first shot, it just misses. Like, yeah, oh boy's tremor is definitely showing up. So it's gonna be
Did anybody
interesting,
else
man. I
think
think this one's gonna break us. Like, this show, it's probably gonna have some pretty heavy moments. I was I can't remember, someone in the Discord had said something about that, or maybe it was a comment on YouTube. I can't recall, but either way, it was something about, yeah, this is leading us toward a seriously tear jerking either clone rebellion or phase out plan or something. And I was like, yeah, I think we're gonna get messed up at the end of this season, man. I don't know. What were you gonna say, Michael? I'm sorry.
I was anticipating when she had the bag of credits, I was really thinking she was going to throw them in the air and he was going to like shoot blaster bolts and ricochet them off of them in midair, because that was his thing, right? Is he like had mirrors and they're like, oh, shiny box of credits, or throw them on the ground and he would like shoot them and they'd bounce or something, because that's what I thought. But then when his hand, like, you know, he shot his hand, I was like, okay, well that actually makes more sense. At least that makes more sense than it ever made sense. The ricocheting blaster bolts that go through people and then keep going and then bounce off for some more.
Yeah, he was like Sniper Hawkeye from the Avengers, just like inexplicable, crazy arrows all the time. Yeah, it was interesting.
So I have I don't think I discussed this with you guys, but I have a crazy theory relating to this whole Project Necromancer thing that is uncomfortable but potentially true. So they talked about in episode 2, the second episode, they were talking about how Palpatine's trying to create a strand cast that's capable of supporting the whatever they're calling it, you know, it's his DNA, without losing the M count, or by potentially getting a higher M count, right? So it seems like what they're doing is they have like three kind of pieces of DNA. They have some sort of like host. They're looking to have like Omega's blood, because putting that together means that it can actually support the DNA. And then they're looking for Palpatine's genetic information so that it's a strand cast of him, even though the rest of it's not technically him. So the third piece of that puzzle, we were thinking, I can't remember who it was. We were talking about who could possibly have a higher midichlorian count than Palpatine, and what does that mean for the strand cast of Palpatine? So trivia question for you guys: who probably has a higher M count than Palpatine? There's a few possible solutions here, but
Vader.
who's the obvious one? Vader, right? So Vader, if Vader's one piece of the puzzle, exactly. So
is that the right one? I hope it was. I can't hear it.
Yes.
Did I hit the right button?
Yes, that was perfect.
All right,
yes.
Great.
So if Vader is one piece of the puzzle, and Omega's another piece, and Palpatine's the other, does that mean that Rey is actually, in fact, a Skywalker in the end? Potentially, sort of, if they do that, right? So if they're trying to create a Strandcast using this Force Essence DNA that has a higher midichlorian count than even Palpatine, and that Strandcast had a baby, technically that baby would be part Skywalker. Just saying. Crazy.
I love you, dude.
You know,
I'm
the
glad you're
meme with the
here,
guy.
man. Like, no, like I don't hate it. I really don't. Like it's
better than just
something-
deciding that you're a Skywalker, to be fair.
It's something they would totally do. Like, yeah, like it does make sense. It kind of retroactively makes it less like I'm gonna adopt myself into this family.
Either that or we find out Rey's mom was actually not a nobody too, because we already know her dad was a clone, but we don't know who her mom was. Well, obviously there's the book and they talk about it, but she's not necessarily anybody yet, but they could always change
She's British,
that.
so you know.
Yeah, they could always make her somebody interesting. So maybe she's descendant of Omega and he's descendant of Palpatine, different branches of the same clone, and you know, whatever. Anyway, also interesting to note. So obviously Gideon in The Mandalorian is trying to do the same thing, and it seems like he's either like finding some of Hemlock's old research or he's co-opting it or whatever. Like he didn't come up with this stuff. He's going to like bases that have been decommissioned, getting his stuff together, and he's like parallel to Project Necromancer. He is not trying to make a new Palpatine. He's trying to make himself and also trying to make himself Force sensitive, which is why he, instead of an Anakin with a high M count, he's after Grogu with a high M count. So anyway, just kind of an interesting.
That's a
combo
really interesting theory. I mean, Palpatine would 100% have access to Anakin's DNA. I mean, he's
or Luke's DNA, you know, because that's in the books.
Luke confirmed. Luke, we're gonna get it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
So it turns out Rey's dad, Strandcast combo of Palpatine, Omega, and Luke's hand. Luke's severed hand.
Maybe a little dash of Jerua Sabayoth just for a little little pizzazz, little je ne sais quoi. Little crazy old man to spice it up. Because, I mean, that's got to be, like, you need the crazy Jedi to kind of empower the vessel to handle the sheev, you know? Like, you can't be the sheev sheath unless you've got that sort of Sabayoth energy. So, yeah, that's that. Now we're you bring me the parts, and I electrify it, and now Frankenstein's monster is alive. Take notes, Disney. We got you. We'll make this make sense. We're gonna fix Rise of Skywalker together. This show sucks.
So, which Star Wars movie are we gonna get another like secret Imperial program that is something about hyperspace skipping to fix that one there? You know,
honestly,
or maybe it'll be in the Lando series. It'll be like some feature of the Falcon that he put in there that hadn't been used until then. You know, they'll just be like, "Oh, hyperspace skipping."
I had an affair with a calculator,
that'll never work.
And I plugged
That'll
it
never
into
work.
Yeah, man, man's wild. Honestly, I was more angry about hyperspace skipping than I was Palpatine returning. I'm like, dark magic, Sith. Yeah, I get that. That's fine. This skipping stuff
made sense if it was true for the first two movies. And we are way off program here in terms of the topic, but like, you know,
that's okay. This was a short episode.
Made more sense because that was the story from the EU. Like Palpatine wasn't actually dead, so no one who followed that was really shocked. I think they were just mad that, like, wait a minute, why wasn't this the case from the beginning? It would have made things a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe like, you know, write a script for all three movies and try to see it through.
Stick to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not $1 billion executive, right? I'm just a kid that can't read, but still, you know, would have thought that would have been a good idea.
It's okay. All of the focus testing is going to be done by AI from now on anyway, so you know. It's all good. We'll just keep getting the same auto-generated scripts and good stuff. I
mean, you're not like, that's not crazy. I hate that. But
hey,
anyway,
Siri, write me a Star Wars book.
Yeah, honestly. All right, so listen, the Bad Batch. I mean, these are shorter episodes. It's just an excuse for us to hang out. I really liked it. I like where it's going. I think it's a lot of fun. Everybody, give your final thoughts, and then since it's shorter, I don't want to leave quite yet. So we're gonna do a handful of trivia questions like last time. I like that. I want to keep that going. Anybody that's got final thoughts, shoot them out. Otherwise, we'll cut to the cues.
I like the music in this episode. I feel like sometimes you don't notice the music, but the music at the end when Crosshair steps off and there's this. You should go back and listen to it if you don't remember it. It was good. It was really.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
it was very very emotional, very powerful, loud. Over like usually the music doesn't kind of take place over everything else, but it was good.
Yeah, like John Williams' scores. You know, you hear it when you're listening, when you're watching the movie for the first time, right? Like it slaps you in the face. A lot of the Kevin Kiner stuff, it's great, but I don't really clock it the first time I'm watching. But then, like, if I say, "Oh, let me play this soundtrack or whatever," then I'm like, then it like conjures images from the show. It like, I don't know. It's a different type of feeling, but it's still a great one. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Michael. Taylor, you got any thoughts?
I agree.
No is acceptable. You don't have to look at me like I just like it's cool.
I have all the thoughts. I've just been waiting.
Okay, spit.
Maybe not all the thoughts. That's a bit of an exaggeration. No, I agree with what Andy mentioned, and I think you brought up as well, Ed. I think if it had been most of us, or definitely me in the episode, right, it would have been all of 10 minutes, because I would have been like, well, they took the dog. That's unfortunate. Bye. But I don't know. This is a completely random point that I really liked, but I don't know if y'all noticed when they were escaping and they took the ship and they blasted off, there was this one stormtrooper who was just standing on this building. And he goes like, ah, and you just see him fly off the screen. That was one of my
obliterated.
That was good.
That was crazy.
Whoosh. He's fine though. Don't worry. It was a stun engine.
We need to applaud the sound designers for resisting the temptation to put the Wilhelm in there. That was
yeah.
Nice. I appreciated that. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I can't wait for next week. I'm really enjoying this. Everybody's a couple of people. I think Michael, you said it's like fine. I don't disagree. But
it's not bad at all. I'm just
the plot is progressing, which is quite nice. Like we talked about it last week.
More,
right.
I was gonna say it's more positive neutral than the last season of Clone Wars, where it was kind of like, wow, that's amazing, and what are we watching? And oh my gosh, that was amazing. Now this is just like this is solid. It's just good.
Yeah, and like the critiques we had from the State of Star Wars episode was we need it to do stuff, right? And yeah, it is moving the plot forward, which we really appreciate. So yeah, all right. Now we'll go to my new favorite part of the show, which is Taylor's trivia time. So bust that book out, and we'll do a handful of questions, and we'll get the heck out of here.
Okay. Cool.
You seem so excited.
These are just some of the most random. Okay. So, as we displayed last time, we have the trivia book. It's got like 2,000 or so questions in here. So let's see, what's it giving us first? 779. Where are we? Oh, okay. So this is the Attack of the Clones era.
Perfect.
Question 779 says, after Padme told Anakin she wouldn't allow him to give up his future for her, what did he suggest? It is multiple choice. Would you like the multiple choice options?
Yeah.
We could.
Yes.
Keep it a secret.
Why did Ed channel his inner Elvis for that one? That was a little.
I heard it too.
Mama.
Oh, Mama.
He wasn't talking to you, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, Discord reference.
Yeah, autocorrect's doing me wrong. I try to be Southern gentleman on that app, and it just That's right, Mama. Turns me into an entirely different type of Southern gentleman. Very a very precocious Southern gentleman is what it turns me right into.
Okay, well, just for the fun of it, I'll read you the multiple choice options. A is that they get married. B is that he leave the Jedi Order. C is that she leave the Senate, and D is that they keep their love a secret.
Yeah.
Yep.
Incredible.
I assume we're going with D.
Honestly, these are great multiple choice options though, because all of those things happened at some point. Like that was all
Right?
part of the discussion.
Yeah,
Right.
they're all plausible.
Yeah, it was solid. It wasn't like, oh, I'll just shack up with Jar Jar or something like an obvious dismissible.
Yay. Ed was right.
All right, I
We're
won't answer
keeping
the next
everything
one
a
unless
secret.
it means I can, unless I can do an impression. But go ahead.
Mama.
Okay, let's see. Question 1995. Where
good
are
year.
we?
Here.
It's a fantastic year. I agree.
I didn't exist.
Michael, just say
Like
this
they
stuff.
said,
It's funny.
Andy.
Why are you keeping it to yourself? He put in the discard autocorrect turns Ed from Johnny Appleseed into Johnny Bravo. You're not
That's funny.
wrong. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let's see. 1995, Empire Strikes Back era.
Oh,
My personal favorite. Okay, little more, probably maybe lesser known. How many cloud cars escorted the Millennium Falcon into Cloud City? We have 2, 3, 6, or 1.
I can guess.
I feel like it's
It's
two.
either
I mean,
or
I
three.
think I got an answer, but I don't want to. I don't-
There's also the problem is the cloud cars are dual cars. They have two stuck together.
but it's
So-
one unit, so we're
Yeah.
We're taking that as a unit. I want to say
How many units,
2 or
Michael?
3. I don't know.
I'm going with 2. I remember there being 1, but I'm pretty sure a second one comes up with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's 2. I would be surprised if it's 3, but I know it's not 1.
Yeah, I was thinking you could have one on each side and one on the back to keep it from going anywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like
I'm going
security wise,
against
that makes
3.
sense. But is that what actually
Andy says
happened? Let's
3.
find out.
Vibes.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 2. Nope, y'all were right, 2.
Yeah, we get to keep our
Have a
show for another week. All right,
We're gonna have to have a
one.
security discussion with a Lobot.
Honestly,
Should have been 3.
slipping.
Okay, let's see. How many of these you want to do, Ed?
I was hoping 5, but we can turn it to 3. That's fine.
I mean, I'm fine with any
I'm-
of it. Okay.
I'm reading the room, so if 3 is a banger, then we'll stop there.
Okay. Question 2337. Return of the Jedi era. Where was Luke Skywalker hiding when Darth Vader, reading Luke's thoughts, realized that he also had a daughter? Options. A, under the fallen catwalk. B, beneath the Emperor's days. Is it days? It's days,
Dais.
right? Days.
Deus.
Dais. Okay.
Amadeus.
No.
C,
not that.
behind the turbo lift to the observation tower pinnacle, and then D, in an unused Imperial guard duty post.
I mean, it's got to be the catwalk because I was gonna say under the stairs, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he was-
Yeah,
He's like
I
under the
can see
stairs, but he's
that.
also kind of behind a pillar. So
He is. There's a
yeah,
pillar
you can get there
there.
in Lego Star Wars. I'm trying to picture
the whole
this.
thing. Yeah,
Best game ever. Okay, so we're going with
that
Under
was
the
not
Fallen
a banger,
Catwalk.
and I know bangers. That was not a banger.
Hot take.
Oh, we were wrong, guys.
What was it? In the turbo lift?
It's the dais. It says beneath the Emperor's dais.
On the dais,
on the
dais.
whatever.
Yes. I didn't know you could
Cool.
get under
So I
it.
wonder then what comprises the dais, because it wasn't right under the throne. Is it
Probably
just that whole
stairs,
platform
right? He's
is the
probably hiding
dais?
under the dais's stairs. So in a way, from a certain point of view,
Oh, Lord.
Technically,
just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
If you squint
Okay.
hard enough, I got an M count.
Uh-huh.
All I'm getting when Googling this is Sidaeus.
That's oh boy. Oh,
Listen,
this is
man,
the
I just
easy one.
hyperspace skipped from Houston to here, so I'm a little sleepy. What's the next one?
This is super easy. Question 1613 from New Hope. Who said you're all clear, kid? Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Andy.
Well, I mean, like the way that sentence sounds, it just reminds me of Han Solo. Am I correct?
Look at that,
yeah.
Andy. You are right.
And not because I remember it, just because I know. I feel like I know, how he talks.
She's like, who from
Yeah.
those movies sounds like a normal person?
I mean, fair.
Yeah, it's
Evidently,
wild.
The thing about the
okay.
dais and everything is all described in one of the cutaway dictionaries. They have a whole shot of the Emperor's throne room and observation tower. I'm going to post it in the Discord. It's kind of cool, actually.
Sweet.
Doesn't show exactly where he was hiding, but it does kind of make it clear that there's only really one spot it could have been, which, to be fair, it's under the stairs. Like, come on.
Yeah, we need pictures.
We knew it all along.
So, Ed,
Ladies
you
and
said
gentlemen,
5.
we got him. I did.
The 5th
5.
question is a Legends tie-in.
Ooh.
Let's go. Send it.
Oh, wow, that is a detailed diagram.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Our-
I'm gonna have to look at that closely.
I need to learn how to put things up on screen because it'd be great if I could share this with our audience. But hey, subscribe on our Discord and you too can see what Michael just posted. It's a great cross section of the Emperor's lair. And exactly right. There is a nice little hidey hole under the stairs for it's a Luke-sized compartment. Okay.
Okay.
It also describes the lustrous dais or audience platform, which is open underneath.
I like the
There you
red room
go.
on the other side there. It's very Snoke.
He does.
That's
He
actually really
loves
cool.
red.
What the heck?
Oh yeah.
Never
big
saw
fan.
that.
Like all his areas in the Senate had like a large amount of red.
Little freak.
You know, his lightsaber is pretty red too.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
Maybe that's
Okay.
a subtle nod the creators wanted.
You think that means something? You think maybe it's like red signifies something? I don't know. Get the thing on that one.
Yeah.
Well, what does that say about the fact that you're wearing red right now?
Oh, take that, Raising Canes, you Sith front. Golly. Jeez.
I was thinking what it said about Michael, but okay. I suppose
Raising
chicken
Canes
chains can
Sith
have attributes.
apologist confirmed.
Oh my gosh. Okay, last question. Legends tie-in. I am probably going to butcher the pronunciation of these names, so please forgive me.
Okay, they won't get mad.
Question 1317 is in A New Hope era. It says, over which penal colony planet did Grand Moff Tarkin supervise the construction of the Death Star? The options are A, Akratar, B, Midas 7, C, Despire? I don't know. And D, Dorvala.
Penal.
Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 with you. I don't remember that book. I don't remember that one.
I think I know it.
Dorvala sounds
Yes.
Dorvala sounds real. Let's go with that.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Locking it
I
in.
think it's
Final
Despair.
answer.
Despair.
I think it's Deus. Okay.
Nope, sorry, not
Gaius.
Dorvala. It was Despair. Despair.
It's not really
I don't know.
fair
I'm
if
gonna
you
need
didn't
a-
really pronounce the name for us, you know.
I'm gonna
You
need a
read it
fact
all the way
check
through.
on that. Like it could be
No,
anything.
that is absolutely correct. As soon as I saw the question, I knew what it was.
I don't know.
but, like,
Andy, you're in
in
charge of this from
canon
now on. Okay.
Oh.
It was built over Geonosis, but then when we see it in the Death Star was built over Geonosis.
This
For a
is
while.
Legends.
I know.
Get
I said
him.
in canon now, but I'm trying to figure out when we see it in Andor, where it's being built because it's not Geonosis.
But
They
is it,
they
though?
discussed moving it in
Yeah, they've also talked
Catalyst,
about it being
right?
in the middle of nowhere a few
Yeah.
times. They've talked about it just like that's why they were able to figure out where it was, because there was like random traffic going to literally the middle of nowhere, and it's a little obvious,
Yeah.
like a lot of construction traffic.
Okay. It does look like it was moved multiple times.
One
I
of them
still
was
want to know how to
probably
pronounce
Turquoise.
the
this.
Spire.
Probably
Despire? I like
dated.
that. Despire? Despair just sounds weird. It's a penal colony. Calling it that is odd.
Despire. Despire.
Yeah, but
Despire.
Star Wars also
Despacito?
does love to give people names that's like, your name is Sam, but it's spelled something ridiculous to mean Sam.
I mean,
Like
true.
that's
Oh,
Star
like
Wars
having a
does love doing that.
culture.
Your name
Okay,
is
I will
Luke,
give you.
pronounced Luke.
This does say. So this does say, again, legends, but the Empire repeatedly relocated the Death Star from Despire to at least 5 different worlds, including Coruscant, Fondor, Ryloth, Eriadu, and Geonosis, to avoid rebel sabotage or uncovered information. Also, Despire was the first planet the Death Star was tested on in Legends.
That's right. That's the
Cool.
one they blowed up. You right.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder
I
it was
forgot
called
about that.
Despair.
It's a subtle nod to the fact that you are going to die.
Oh no!
It's a
Oh,
penal
you think this
colony.
is
You're all
not a
gonna
thing that Star
die.
Wars does? Like Jedi Master Amagun dies. Like, come on.
Oh,
Star Wars has a pretty bad track record with things like this.
No, you're exactly right. It's hilarious.
Like the droid B2 Emo. Come on.
That's just the best.
It is. But, you know.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. We stuck the landing on the intro. I say let's go out with a bang on the outro. This was fun. Yeah, we'll see you next time. It was great. I'm looking forward to hanging out.